Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. What's going on over here? Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1291. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy New Year. La Shana Tova to those who celebrate. It's Rosh Hashanah. We celebrated last night. Very small, just a small, my wife and I, my mother-in-law and her friend, and my wife's grandma. So small dinner. Got my gefilte fish, our kugel, and beef. What else do we have? Of course, the apple and honey. So we were actually talking, and I guess as time goes on, we don't. Sometimes we just don't realize. We just get caught up in, the current times and previous times and traditions. Just kind of we forget we once did something. So that kind of came up last night. It's like my wife's grandma says, I remember when we had 25 people here. And it's like, oh yeah, like we used to go big, when my wife and I first started dating, 10 years ago. Rosh Hashanah at my in-laws was like 20, 30 people at dinner, go off to service. Now it was just 5 of us last night, and no service, which, hey, I'm okay with that. But yeah, you get back and it's like, oh yeah, I remember, and just time goes by, and it's it's I think it's bittersweet. Like, I'd rather have a dinner of 5 than 25 people and just hustle and bustle and all that. But it is, it is kind of sad in a way. But Happy New Year to those who celebrate. We're going to talk a little baseball playoffs. I didn't really watch much baseball yesterday. I had it on briefly in the afternoon. And then I was checking scores, last night. So we'll talk baseball playoffs. I added another round of auctions. 99centcards.com. Get your bids in. I now have, what do we have going on? Sunday night auctions. Actually, let's start tonight. There's auctions ending tonight. It's the Wisconsin-based auctions. Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, Packers. A bunch of Giannis cards, like 30 Giannis cards up for grabs. The Wisconsin Badger ticket stub from like the 1920s, bidding up to like $55 right now. Shocked by that. Let's see. There's some random Packers and Brewers media guides, Super Bowl programs, Rose Bowl programs. So that's all ending tonight in my eBay store, 99centcards.com. I don't do Friday, Saturday night auctions, but Sunday, we've got refractors. So there's about 100 refractors up for bid ending Sunday night. Of course, we've got our Tuesday night auctions. You saw those on the preview as our Tuesday night auctions ended this past Tuesday. So we will stream live on Tuesday night starting at 7 p.m. Central to watch those final seconds tick down on each item. There's Wednesday night auctions. Yesterday, Ernie and I were here in the office, so I've got to get work done in the office when Ernie's with me, because he's too much to distract him and chew on in the card room in the shipping area. So Ernie and I were hanging out in here. So I put added some eBay inventory to the buy it now section. And then I'm going through some stuff that's on the counter back there, still trying to get through that. And I'm like, this is all good auction items. I don't want to wait. Like it used to be a few weeks ago. It's like, oh, this is a good auction item. I'm going to save this for Tuesday. I'm going through so much. I've got so much stuff that we're not saving stuff for Tuesday. Now, I want to highlight some of the better stuff on Tuesday nights because that's what we're highlighting and doing live streams on. But at the end of the day, I have so much stuff to move. Let's just auction it off. So I think there's about 40 or 50 auctions that went live last night. There's going to be another round of auctions starting tonight. Now, most of you will not be interested in what's going to be going live tonight. Wrestling magazines. Now, during COVID, we all had to find hobbies. Many of you found baseball, or not many of you, but some of you found baseball cards and returned to the hobby during COVID. I was already deep in the hobby, collecting, buying, trading, selling during COVID. So what was my hobby away from my hobby? I went back to my childhood, like many of us did during COVID, and I rediscovered wrestling magazines. And I wanted to collect the run of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which still is. I actually have a subscription to this day of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So I went back and bought a whole bunch of PWI magazines. They've been sitting in a storage tub. They are bindered, but they're sitting in a storage tub. And it's like, you know what? Let's just move on with these. They're pretty slow sellers at Buy It Now. So I'm just going to auction them off. And I listed about 10 or 12 last night, and I want to get 50. So I'm going to spend some time today getting those set up and getting those ready to go live tonight. So if anybody's into wrestling, I'm going to have Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines. Yes, I will combine shipping. I wanted to make note of that in the item description because when I was buying Pro Wrestling Illustrated and they were at auction, it was annoying not knowing if they combine shipping and what the combined shipping costs are. So my magazines, it's $4.25 shipping, $1 each additional issue. Now, if you buy all 50, it's not going to be $54 shipping. We'll be able to work it out. So that's going to go live tonight. And there probably will be more auctions spring up, probably another batch of Sunday night auctions this weekend going live. And of course, our Tuesday auctions. So check out my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy cards, bid on cards. When you buy it now only has a coupon code, 7 or more, you'll get 25% off at checkout. That's 7 or more cards at regular price. Buy it now items only, excludes auctions. Check it out, 99centcards.com. And I'm on Collects, COLLX. Check out the Collects app. Buy cards from my store in there. Didn't get any new cards with the exception of the 5 we added live here on Hobby Evolution yesterday morning. But I do have over 2,000, barely over 2,000. I've sold a few more. I think I'm over 200 cards sold on Collects already in less than 2 weeks. So check me out on Collects. 1 Million Cubs. 1 Million Cubs is the store name on Collects. So what else is going on? What else is going on? That's about all. Trying to think. We're going to talk baseball. It's chilly. It's 48 degrees right now. Fall is here, which means playoff baseball. Means football is in full swing. It's getting colder. Leaves are turning colors. Winter is near. It's spooky season. Did I watch a scary movie yesterday? So I still want to have a Bow Film Festival topic. I've discovered, and the thing was, I want these got to be the best 5 movies, but that's not really the case because I think with the Bow Film Festival, and if you're not familiar with what the hell I'm talking about, the other day I was listening to the latest episode of Pod Meets World, the Boy Meets World rewatch podcast. Enjoy it. By the way, those 3 will be have autographs in this year's Allen and Ginter. But this week's episode, they did a film festival. Basically, they each chose 5 movies that they would show at their film festival, and little added touch, they have food. And Ryder was starting at his film festival at noon with a ramen lunch and then, they have various snacks throughout or meals or whatever. So I thought that was a cool touch. And it's like, I want to do that. So I think I've narrowed my film festival down to 3 of the 5 movies. I haven't really thought about the meals just yet. I do have lunch. I do, because I'm going to steal from Writer's Handbook on the lunch. I do have a lunch picked out. But as far as the rest, I don't. So I picked out my horror movie yesterday. So I'm not going to share what it was until I share all 5 and I go through what my film festival will look like. But I thought, like, I want to spend all this time picking the perfect movie. And that's not really the case. Like, if I have like 10 movies, we'll just have 10 film festivals. If I have 10 horror movies, which I probably would, or more, but I want this film festival to be like, I don't want to pick like Halloween or Friday the 13th or a Saw or, mainstream movies. I don't want to pick The Breakfast Club or The Goonies or Christmas Vacation. I want to pick more, underground type movies. So we did let Andy spilled the beans. He got into my head. He knew that Can't Hardly Wait is going to be a part of my film festival. It is. It's the party movie. And then I have 2 other movies. I have a sci-fi and a horror. I need a comedy. Now, Can't Hardly Wait is not necessarily, I mean, it is a comedy, but I'm going to have like a true, I don't know, I guess maybe it is a true comedy, but we're going to have another comedy and more of a drama. So, and those are tough because I'm not into, I'm usually into comedy and horror are like the 2 movies. Like, I'm not into Oscar winning movies, but this is my film festival. We're not going to have Oscar nominated movies at my film festival. So I'm still thinking. I've got 2 movies to pick out. I think the food part will be easy. That's the easy part, but it's the movie. It's the films. That's going to be a little trickier to get these last 2 down. So speaking of movies, I had a dream last night. Just popped into my head. I had a dream last night that Tom Hanks was at a party that I was at. And I remember there was a movie, it might have been Big, that was playing. It was one of his like early movies before he became like, Big might have been around the time where he really took off, right? Because he had like a string of movies there in the late 80s. But it was an early Tom Hanks movie. And I remember Tom Hanks standing there to like, hey, Tom Hanks. And like, we're just like chill. I'm trying to be cool. Don't fanboy. And Big was on or whatever movie it was. And I look at Tom Hanks and I'm like, and I said something like some cheesy line like, I think that guy's going places. And it's like, dad joke, right? So that was in my dream last night. I don't know why. I didn't watch any Tom Hanks movies. All right. So let's go to the chat. We'll talk a little baseball today. I got some shipping done early this morning. I wanted to wake up at 5 to get shipping done. And I told my wife last night, I'm like, I'm going to wake up earlier than normal because I want to get shipping done. So, I have flexibility throughout the day with Ernie. And I set my alarm for 5 and like said, fuck it. I'm sleeping till 6. So, but I did get right up at 6 and Ernie went potty. I came downstairs, got some shipping done this morning. George is in the house. What's going on, George? He says, my team here in Korea just put on one of the most disgraceful postseason performances ever in the wild card games. They never should have been there to begin with. See, and that's why. That's the perfect example why I don't get upset when the Cubs, especially this year and last year, don't make the playoffs. Because it's even more annoying when your team, to me, at least in my opinion, it's more annoying when your team makes the playoffs and then just shits themselves and gets swept, plays terrible, And I'd rather just, and it's not even about, because draft picks in baseball, there's not much, the draft in baseball is just so much different than football. In football, it's like lose games so you can get a high draft pick, because that's very important in the NFL. Not so much at all in Major League Baseball. So it's just like, just get the season over with. Like, it's just basically another 2 losses if it's in the wild card round. So I feel you. I feel you on that. Victor's here. Good morning. Gundy's in the house. Good morning. Christian is here. Go Tigers. Spoiler alert, Tigers are moving on. How about that? I was very happy with that result. Very unhappy with another result. I shouldn't say very unhappy, but I was unhappy. I'm bummed. And it's more from a business standpoint than a fan standpoint. Zach says, quote, yeah, well, the thing about the old days, the old days, the great Slim Charles. Peter's in the house. What's up? Herman's here. Braves are out, and I can't even say that that's a bad thing. And that's kind of like going along with my thought process and George's team that sucked it up. It's like, yeah. So Padres and Braves was a series where if those teams played some of the other teams, I would have been like root. Like if either of those teams played the Brewers or Mets, I would have rooted for the Padres and Braves. If they would have played the Brewers, I would have rooted for the Padres and Braves. But other than that, like it's like I was okay with either team winning, Padres or Braves. Zach says, I put a best offer on the Hester refractor. I wish you just had, but buy it now on some of these. So, and I'm surprised that you didn't bid on, there's 2 Devin Hester refractors up for auction ending on Sunday night. So get your bids in. Or are those no, those aren't Sunday. I think those started last night because those were on my countertop. So those just started last night. So I think there's another one. I'm surprised you didn't, but maybe you have the other one. Mr. Archer is here. Good morning. Brian's in the house. What's going on? It's hoodie and shorts weather again. Huzzah! Yes, sir. I'm still rocking jeans that I've worn for like the last week. But I'm happy because I'm wearing this. This was a shirt that I couldn't wear last winter because my belly was too big, and it basically, I could have wore it, but it was a belly shirt. Nobody wants to see my belly. So I'm happy that I'm slim enough to fit back into this shirt because I really like this shirt. And now I can fit back into it. By the way, Brian did something that has never been done with how many Madison card shows? I've done about 40 Madison card shows, and I've never been interviewed on TV about the Madison Card Show. Been on some podcasts, but not on video in studio like Brian was. Is there? Let me try to find the link. Brian has the Gem City Card Show coming up. I believe it's this weekend, correct? Gem City Card Show in Quincy, Illinois. Here's the link. I think the key in working in media myself, I know the key to this. Check out Brian's interview about the Gem City Card Show in Quincy, Illinois. There you go. So there is the link to Brian's interview. So the key, and I think Brian knows some of the people with Muddy River News down there in Quincy, and that's the key. Because in Illinois, I could send something to the newspapers and to the TV stations, and it would get published and stories would get done because I knew I worked in media. Never worked in media here in Madison, Wisconsin. So I sent out press releases early on with the Madison Card Show. And our local NBC affiliate did pick it up and basically just copied and pasted it into their website, which, hey, that's all I need. worked for me. But maybe I'll do that again. Maybe I'll send out another release and it would. I should have done that when I was at 200 tables. Hey, 200 tables. But alas, I did not. I've sent out a couple. The first one did get run. Did get run? Is that correct? Is that correct English? The first one did, and then I think I did another one later on, and none of the places ran it. Bastards. Mark Marinello is here. Good morning. Ray Charles saw that 8th inning coming. Is it Maton? Was throwing 80-mile-per-hour BP. Mets never make it easy. Mikey says, I have a bunch of auctions in my store. Zach says, in Q4, Bo's hobby was auctions. Auctions. You know, that's the thing. You know, I got to thinking, I think my friend Shane kind of led me down this path. Because he had reached out to me and he's like, you know, I see you have a log jam of inventory, which I obviously do. You know, I've got so much and I am approaching that 60,000. Now I could delete some of the, and I always talk about, well, I'm going to take out Series 1, 2024 Series 1. And yet every time I go ship a batch, I've got 10 or 11 cards that sell from 2024 Top Series 1. It's like every day I sell a handful of Series 1. But you know, it's like I do have a log jam, and instead of like taking out inventory, especially if there's a trickle, let's just move it. In auctions, what I like about auctions are sometimes I don't like the price, but overall I've been pretty happy with, and I think I've been pumping my auctions. Obviously, you've seen it firsthand, listened to it firsthand. I've been pumping it. I've been promoting it better. I've been putting better auctions up instead of, you know, I was very lazy previously running auctions. I would just batch, switch from buy it now to auction, which is a good way to get rid of some stale inventory and also, you know, get your listings down. But at the same time, it's also kind of stale inventory. I've been using the last few auctions that I've been using Card Dealer Pro, which is awesome because you can also stagger the auctions. So unless they're like oversized cards or ticket stubs or, you know, various other things, you know, if it's just regular cards, like last night was just a batch of regular cards, 50 cards, boom, in Card Dealer Pro, spit them out into auctions, and then I don't have to worry about it. So it's instant sales. It is a little, I think Zach even used the term a shot in the arm. It is a little shot in the arm. You know, if I run 100 auctions, say 75 of them get bids, I'm actually trending higher than that, though. This week's auctions, I have a feeling that number is going to take a hit. There's some auctions, especially with the refractors, though I do have quite a few bids on some of the refractors. But, you know, say 75% get bids. You know, if they all end at 99 cents, that's $75. So that's, you know, that's something. So, you know, I still think auctions suck in certain circumstances, but I have changed my tune. I think I saw John make a comment about pivot. It is a slight little pivot. Like, okay, I've got it, might as well use them, and I've got the excess inventory. I don't have to worry about, well, this card is a $15 card and it only sold for $5. You know, it's still $5. I probably have pennies into it. Now, I'm not going to take a stack of Ken Griffey Jr. cards and lot them up and hope for the best. That's not good. I'm not going to take a stack of 1974 Topps baseball cards, lot them up and put them at auction because they'll sell for pennies on the dollar. And I know I can get those buy it now. So few different things that are going into my strategy for auctions. And Q4 2024, yes, I do plan on running. I think my goal is to do five auctions let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. 5 auctions. Yeah. I'm looking to do auctions 5 nights a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So we'll see. It just kind of depends. Some of the nights are going to be better than others. If you're not a wrestling fan, tonight's auctions aren't going to interest you because it's going to be all Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines from the 80s and 90s. Zach says, Mikey, thank you for the great football cards. John says, Keating family is watching the Vince McMahon doc currently. Great doc. I think it's a great documentary. Nothing new. Like, if you're like a big wrestling fan, if you're into the WWE, nothing new is in this doc. It's all information that we knew, but it's a different take, and Vince McMahon doesn't do too many interviews. So to get his story in documentary form is interesting. I thought it was very well done. It sounds like Vince McMahon was not happy with how it turned out, and now he and a former WWE producer are working on their side of the story. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, if it does come about. John says, I'm thinking about auctioning off my back cherry. Cooter says, with all the auctions, it's clear Bo's new hobby is collecting dollars. That is, yes, absolutely. Collect those dollars. Mark says, Padres look really good. Dominant starting pitching, timely hitting, and a lockdown bullpen. Tigers look good too. John applauds Bo for pivoting. Red Light 34 is in the house. Good morning. Mikey says, of course, Zach, I'm glad you like them. I'm adding more cards today. Andy Mack says, new name for Bo coming, 1 million auctions. There you go. I like it. Let's get on board. 1 million auctions. KMR's in the house. Good morning. Max says, beautiful weather. Got to wash out the sand. I do not like this. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this weather. I have resigned to the fact that cold weather is coming, and it just gives me there's a lot to look forward to. And, Christmas season. So I'm looking forward to Christmas season, Thanksgiving. And then in January, we've got the Cubs convention. And then right after that, 6 weeks later, spring training. And then I'll be ready for warm weather, which won't come until June. So I'm ready for, I'm just ready. The Big Short is my favorite scary movie. George just watched The Deliverance, not to be confused with Deliverance. Yet I think I did watch The Deliverance on Netflix. Wasn't great, and I don't remember it. I see it pop up on Netflix when I turn it on. So I think my sentiment would be the same. Wasn't great because I don't remember what it was about. Zach says LRS is the hobby evolution version of Dr. Michael Burry. Funny, scary movie, Basket Case. And the horror movie that I came up with does have kind of a comedic twist. Now, it's not a dark horror movie that I've chosen for my Bo Film Festival, but it's got there's some comedic timing in it. And it is an 80s movie. It is an 80s horror movie. So I've got so actually the 3 movies that I've picked for my Bo Film Festival, I've got one film from the 70s so far, one from the 80s, and one from the 90s. Cooter says, if cards aren't turning, Bo ain't earning. Hey, I like that slogan. Cooter. Yes. Many dealers could learn a lot from your hobby pivot, as John calls it. That's right. I mean, I get upset if cards don't sell within a few days at Buy It Now. And I think that's part of the reason why it's like, just auction it off. I'm sick of these cards sitting. Now, there's some stuff that sits and I'm okay with it, but a lot of the stuff, it's like, by the way, speaking of if cards aren't turning, Bo ain't earning, the Derek Jeter PSA 8, I got back Saturday from PSA. It came back a PSA 8, the Jeter SP rookie. I listed it. What's today? Today's Thursday, Wednesday. I listed that Derek Jeter PSA 8 on eBay in my Buy It Now for $400 on Tuesday afternoon. I got an offer of, what was my first offer? Might have been $300. I got a $300 offer Wednesday morning, or maybe even Tuesday night. I think it was Tuesday night. I got a $300 offer. That's a fairly strong offer. It only been listed for 6 hours, so I sat on it overnight. Wednesday morning, yesterday morning, I countered at $350. They countered at $305. I countered back at $350. They countered at $310. I was almost ready to decline, but I countered at $350 one last time, and they accepted and paid. So sometimes you just have to deal with it. Just keep countering and be firm. $350 was my price, and that's what it sold for. So $350 on the Jeter SP PSA 8 from that was from the Goodwill. That was from a Goodwill pallet. So a nice return on that. Speaking of grading returns, the Walter Payton, the estate sale Walter Payton, beautiful copy. Unfortunately, min size required is how it's slabbed by SGC. That is up for auction. I think that's up to like $155 now. That auction runs through Tuesday, and we'll count down Tuesday night. We'll stream live and watch the Tuesday night auctions. Andy Mack says, I'm taking one guess at your horror movie, Evil Dead 2. No. So Andy Mack got into my head. He knew it was Can't Hardly Wait. Evil Dead 2. No, Evil Dead 2 would not even be on my short list. I don't even know if I've seen Evil Dead 2. I'm sure I have. But no, not Evil Dead 2. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Red Light 34 says, what about Tyler Perry's Boo for the comedy one? I don't know if I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one. John says, I would slit my wrists if Tom Hanks and I were at the same party. Hall of Fame card collector Mikey says, was it a daddy party? That fits Tom Hanks. It was not a daddy party. John says, I like the Quarantine Tigers cheerleaders. They have one dance and do it over and over again. Max says, weird take. I'd always my team to make the playoffs. Yeah, if my team sucks and I know they're going to get swept, I don't want them to make the playoffs. Like, let's just get the season over with. George says, oh, you must be talking about that annoying thumbs up dance thing they do now. John says, the expanded playoffs have given rise to bullpen days in the playoffs. I think that is sad. Braves were out in May. I was told back then that the season was still young. Straight execution, what's going on? As a Braves fan, it was just sad to present the team to a national audience to watch them fold like a newspaper. As a Cubs fan, I understand how that goes. Your Braves did that to us Cubs back in the day. Should have just let the Diamondbacks make it. George says, don't even know what the dance is, but it's stupid. Now, if they were dancing on the stage of a gentleman's club, I'd be okay with that. Yes, George, annoying, yet fascinating. That's the word that we like to use here. Fascinating. Zach says, I have the other one. Don't act like you are Hunt cornering the Hester market. My apologies. Do you like the honky tonk girl or heard of her? I've never heard of the honky tonk girl. I've heard of the honky tonk man. I've never heard of the honky tonk girl. George says, funny thing about that song and dance is I love seeing the old horn dogs who are watching it. As soon as I hear the music, I know what they are watching. Brian says, I'll share one to the Facebook group October 5th, Quincy, Illinois. There's the link. John is in the house. What's going on? Rund. Dave Arnold in BPC. The Spartans are here. What's up? George says, I must admit that I am too, but I have enough sense to watch it with headphones on in public. These old Korean dudes don't. Philly Joe is here. Good morning. Bo's pivot is reminiscent of Red Lobster's pivot. You've tacked 99-cent shipping onto your auctions, which helps ease the pain. Yes, absolutely. I would not, because a lot of these auctions will end at 99 cents, and then it's like, well, that sucks. So at least the shipping is paid for. How has the longshoreman strike impacted your auctions? So far, I can't see a change with the strikes, with the port strike. Are you concerned duck jerky prices will be impacted now that the docks are closed? A little bit. Is 99 cents a loss on your auctions or slight profit? It is a profit because I charge shipping. So if it's just a straight 99-cent free shipping, which I do have in my Buy It Now store, or in my Buy It Now section, I guess, that is a loss. 99 cents plus 99-cent shipping is profit. John says, why are you skipping over my comments? I've hit all of your comments that I can see. 99 cents would be a loss with free shipping. Yes. Grinding for Good is here. Happy Thursday. Costs about 75 cents to ship. That doesn't include fees. Correct. Johnny M says, good morning. Sold a 5,000 count box on Facebook in 3 hours. No junk comments. I started my eBay auctions at $1.75 free ship. Moving inventory is the name of the game. Absolutely. Offbeat All-Stars, good morning. Big win for the crew. Am-Fam Clam was electric. Let's beat those Mets. Max says, is the McMahon doc about his human trafficking stuff or about wrestling? It's about wrestling. It is about wrestling. 99-cent shipping on those auctions. Yes. What if it's both? Why not both? Unicorn Cupcake says, I'm high bidder on the most beat up card that you have listed. Keeping my fingers crossed. That must be the card ending tonight, the 1971 Topps. Bart Starr, just in absolutely poor condition. Brian says, what are the chances that was a repacker who bought the Jeter? I don't care. I'll take their money. Their money's good to me. Money is money. Straight Execution, My Film Fest, The Crow, 13 Ghosts, Goodwill Hunting, then just watch all of the Lord of the Rings. I'm not coming to your film festival. The Crow is okay. 13 Ghosts, man, it's been a long time since I've seen that. Goodwill Hunting is good, but I'm out. Lord of the Rings, I'm done. No Lord of the Rings. Zach and Porter says, I'm a White Sox fan. All other tan bases, I think he means fan bases, complaining, can attend to Tom Hanks' Diddy party. Mikey says, she's all over my social media feeds. I'm sick of seeing her on there. It's the one that had the video of her saying that she likes to do stuff with guys. Oh, Hawk Tua. Honky Tonk Girl. Hawk Tua. Yeah. That was funny. I'm shocked her 15 minutes aren't up yet. I'm shocked her 15 minutes of fame not up yet. John says doing stuff with guys is gross. Look up Honky Tonk Girl. There you go. I wonder if she uses pleasure spray. So the baseball playoffs are going on, and Max says, so we are making positive docs about people who should be in jail. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a positive doc because Vince McMahon's upset about how the documentary portrays him. So that's why he wants to do his own documentary. So it does not portray Vince McMahon in a positive light, more so the opposite. Also, by the way, the documentary was filmed before the latest round of Vince McMahon shit came up. So it was before all the harassment stuff came to light. Well, the most recent, because there was previous harassment that was public knowledge. So the baseball playoffs, we've already got three teams moving on to the next round. The Kansas City Royals beat the Baltimore Orioles 2-1 yesterday. So the Royals move on, and I'm upset by this. This is what I'm most upset about. And the Royals are a team that I'm rooting for. Like, I'll root for now, but I wanted the Orioles to win in that matchup because I have a lot of Orioles. I've got this Jackson Holiday rookie refractor. Now what? I just bought that on Saturday. Adley Rutschman. I bought a ton of Adley Rutschman rookies last month. I was holding on to those. I should not have. So Gunnar Henderson. So all that. So kind of bummed about that. But I'm happy for the Royals, and I will root from the Royals from now on. The Tigers beat the Astros 5-2 yesterday. So the Tigers advance over Houston. Extremely happy about that. Boo on the Astros. So very happy that the Tigers move on. The Padres edged the Braves 5-4. Padres move on. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, that was a matchup where I didn't really care. I was okay with either team moving on, Braves or Padres. So Padres win 5-4. And not because I'm a hater, but this is another series that I didn't really care about. Mets and Brewers. I was rooting for the Mets, still rooting for the Mets. Brewers came back and won. It was tied after the first inning, 1-1. The Mets scored a couple runs in the second inning to take a 3-1 lead. The Brewers came within a run in the fifth. It was 3-2 going into the eighth inning. 3-2 Mets in the bottom of the eighth when the Brewers scored 3 runs, and they end up winning 5-3. So they play the decisive game 3, which is tonight, 6:08 in Milwaukee. No games on Friday. And then Saturday, the Tigers will match up against the Guardians. So in that series, I'm going to root for the Tigers. And then on Saturday afternoon, the Phillies will play the Brewers-Mets winner. I'm probably rooting for the Phillies in that matchup. I'm not sure. Probably Phillies. And then we've got Royals and Yankees. You know damn well who I'm rooting for in that. Go Royals. And then we've got the Padres and Dodgers, and you know damn well who I'm rooting for in that matchup. The Padres with my guy Dylan Cease on the mound on Saturday afternoon. So that's the baseball playoffs. Where are we at? Oh, wait, we're way up here. Let's see. Johnny M says they still put people in jail. Where is that? The real Vince McMahon was 1992 shit. Lord of the Rings is like Texas Roadhouse of cinematic movies. It's solid, makes you happy, but it's not special. Zach says, I can report that there was no remnants of pleasure spray on my cards from Mikey. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Cooter says, the country is voting for people who should be in jail. Unicorn Cupcake says, I want to see the 50 Cent Diddy doc. Straight Execution, buy more Bobby Witt Jr. Yeah, I don't have much Bobby Witt. I mean, he's been a hot sell. I don't want to buy now because it's the peak, and hope that it goes up. But try to move what I have. I think I do. Although I do have a case of, you know what I might do? Let's go back to the Bobby Witt comment. I've got a case of 2022 Topps Chrome Update that has Bobby Witt Jr. in it. This may be the time. It's a sealed case. I got it super cheap. It's kind of a shitty product, but there's Bobby Witt Jr. rookies in it. I may sell boxes. I may put like $100 a box because I'm not sure. I might have paid $50 a box for them, somewhere around there. I think 50 or 60. Which even at 100, I'm not clearing much. I don't know, but it also might be one of those where I just sit on it. I haven't decided yet. But if it sells for 100 after fees, and if it's 10% promotion, it's basically about what I paid in shipping. I wouldn't be making money. You know, I might as well just rip it. But part of me wants to sell a few boxes so I can rip a few boxes. We'll see. I'll see what those are. I think they were still only going for like in the $75 range. Let's see. Let's just look at eBay real quick. 2022 Topps Chrome Update Hobby Box. Let's see what the recent sell-fors are. Sold. So they're not even selling for $100. So one was $78. Oh wait, that's the hobby box. 97.50, but best offer was taken. I should have just went to 130.87. So they're not even at 100. So, and I'm not sure what I paid for that case. I think it was around $50 a box. So what would that make a case? 600? Did I pay 600? I don't even know if I paid 600 for that case. Zach says, I was shocked when reports came out that Vince was not a good person, right? Like, hello, McFly. John says, that's when the shady shit was happening. May or may not be a coincidence that I was employed by them at the same time. Well, and it predates 1992 because the Ring Boy scandal was in what, 89? And I'm sure McMahon was doing shady shit long before that. Dan's in the house. What's going on? Brian says, I really wanted the O's to win to help me move my Adley Rushman nickel card. Max says, Astros still shouldn't be allowed in the playoffs. Mikey says, you guys will never let me live down my pleasure spray comment. It only happens at the girlfriend's house. Well, that's good. That's good. That's where it should be happening. Zach says, Royals and Tigers were bound to succeed. Spent the year facing tough competition in Bridgeport. Practice against the best, beat the best. Let's see. Max says, go Brewers. Happy about the Padres. Indifferent on the Royals, Orioles. Ecstatic about the Tigers. Padres and Tigers would be cool. Sparky versus Goose, part 2. John says, I assumed Mikey patrolled his hometown wearing hip holsters laden with pleasure spray. Does Mikey not have an open carry permit? Dan says, 3 AL Central teams are in the playoffs. Did the White Sox have anything to do with that? I think so. Phillies weren't the number 1 seed. John likes Texas Roadhouse. Cooter says, don't worry, Mikey. We will let the pleasure spray comment go by 2031. Everyone is just jealous because we old guys only use Gold Bond spray. And there's some truth to that. Zach says, correction, 3 AL Central teams are in the second round of the playoffs. White Sox were that good. That's some great competition. Trump wants Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame before his funeral. Texas Roadhouse brings its A game every time. Unicorn serious ? I've never ate at Texas Roadhouse. Really? That's surprising. So the news tells me. That dude from Duryea says Phillies Mets have never met in the playoffs. That would be a fun series. Wow, that's surprising. That is surprising. Max has been to a Texas Roadhouse once. That was enough. Slap in the face to LOTR to compare to it, though. It's okay. It's a chain. All chains are the same. All chains are the same, in my opinion. Just another chain. Ring Boy scandal was ongoing when I was employed. Oh, I thought that was before 92. I thought that was in like 89, 90. Zach and Porter says, and then boom, it was Ring Boy scandal, and boom, steroids came up in 93. Sure enough, story on Fox News. I hope this issue defines the remaining weeks of the race. Max says, I just don't want to see another shit series. Astros, White Sox sucked. 2 teams nobody cares about. Unicorn Cupcake says, Ocho Cinco versus James Harrison in an MMA match. Are they even in the same weight class? Let's see. Mikey says, what issue are you talking about? Cooter says, I'm sure the Donald admires Pete's taste in women. I mean, girls. Pete Rose getting in the hall before he is in the ground. Wants your steak microwaved, go to a chain. Exactly. Never order a steak at a chain. I mean, I guess you can, but it's wasting money, in my opinion. So that's what I had for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, shop my eBay store, 99centcards.com, and don't forget there's bunches of auctions going on right now. Bunches of auctions. I've got auctions ending tonight. I've got auctions ending Sunday night. I've got auctions ending Tuesday night, and we will live stream those. And then I've got auctions ending next Wednesday night. I've got auctions starting tonight. Tonight's wrestling, though. So most of you don't care about wrestling. So I'm speaking to the wall. But if you do like wrestling, Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines go up at auction tonight. 99centcards.com. I'm also over on the Collects app. Find me at 1 Million Cubs. I've already sold over 200 cards on the Collects app in less than 2 weeks. So I'm having a good time selling on Collects. COLLX. It's an app only. So download the app and buy my cards there. John says auctionsouttheass.com should be your site. I wonder if that's taken. Oops. Auctionsouttheass.com. Yeah, I can buy that. Auctionsouttheass.com. It's a little pricey though. 3 years. Oh, so no, it's average. So I can bundle. I can get auctionouttheass.org, .net, .xyz, and auctionsouttheass.store for just $20.57 for the first year. Auctionsouttheass.com. Damn it, Keating, you. Auctionsouttheass.com. Who knew? Let's see. It is available. You're welcome. Seems like it would be a dark website, right? That would be auctionsintheass.com. Let's see. Johnny M says, good luck with all the perverts that will be emailing you. It'd get a lot of traffic, but it probably would get the wrong kind of traffic. I don't think they're coming to buy baseball cards. It would look great on a t-shirt as well. Yeah, it would. Auctionsouttheass.com. Who can draw me up a auctionsouttheass.com logo? If somebody can do a funny logo, I'll buy it. Need some bleach. Yeah, bleach that asshole. All right. Thanks, John Keating. Like, subscribe, have a great Thursday. What else is going on? We got playoff baseball tonight, Brewers and Mets. LRS probably has a guy for that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a great Thursday. That dude from Duryea says that reveal would be a great show. Who's my graphic designers to do auctionsouttheass.com logos? Alrighty, I'm going to go do some more shipping. If you were bidding on, if you won auctions from Tuesday night, I am getting those shipped out today. So I'm actually just getting prepared to start shipping the Tuesday night auctions here as soon as I end this show. So those will be getting shipped out here momentarily. So have a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow. It's Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday. We play Name That Player. So that's tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. We will see you then.